December is good for Levan. The only way that I have a chance is at least we're on even ground.
So it's the day after EVW 23. Here's a clip that is pretty relevant to the topic of Devon's next match from Dexter's podcast. He did a live stream after the event. Cool to see Devon hanging out with Vitaly, Ivan, a bunch of other athletes, just having a good time after the event. Just goes to show how, all the drama aside, arm wrestling is one big community. But let's take a look at this clip of Devon talking about, what's next for him. When is he going to face Levan?
I think is I still have one more fight with Levan. It's just the timing. And that's the problem. See, December is good for Levan. But I've already tried twice. And I know for me, the only way that I have a chance is at least we're on even ground.
So he wants to be on even ground with the timing if December is good for Levan. I wonder if that has to do with taking a break after a match. How long is he going to want to take? It's April. December isn't for another 8 months, so that's a lot of time to prepare to even take several months off and still have many months to prepare. So I'm not sure. Does Devon want it to be next year maybe? I'm not sure. Maybe he wants it to be in spring or something, but it seems like he's wanting Vitaly to potentially face Levan first and then come in and clean up after that when the timing is more ideal for Devon to have a shot to beat maybe a not fully peaked out Levan.
Maybe even me have a little bit of advantage,
So it's interesting to think about, when is the match between Devon and Levan going to happen? Is there going to be a lot of time in between? Is Devon going to pull on the right arm with anyone else before he pulls with Levan? These are the questions I'm curious about, but I did put up a poll. Who would win? Not surprising, 68% think that Levan would beat Devon. Somebody said Levan hasn't faced Krusty yet. That's a different version. Levan is not prepared for a third match against Krusty Devon. But I want to take a look at some comments of people's suggestions as far as like the future matchups for Devon and Levan on my video from yesterday. So let's look at some of these comments. 100% Vitaly versus Levan makes the most sense as the next match. It's interesting. Like, do you think in UFC, if the number 2 guy beat the number 4 guy, the number 4 guy who just lost would get the next title shot? Like, kind of only in arm wrestling does something like that make sense, which is very interesting. But I mean, I want to see Vitaly versus Levan pretty soon as well, of course, just to see what would happen since it's been so long. But Devon versus Hermes, Vitaly versus Levan, says this person. And then there's a complete opposite here, Devon versus Levan and Hermes versus Vitaly. I do think Vitaly probably wants to get revenge on Hermes for, his last loss against Hermes. So that could be good. Devon pulled Vitaly's whole body, blah, blah, blah. Vitaly versus Hermes next, says this person. Devon deserves to be the GOAT level right now. Levan needs to pull more often, especially after the injury. He needs to work himself to the top like Devon does every single time. And Devon is so active, competing in almost every event. Probably one of the reasons he's the most globally recognized arm wrestler for sure. His personality, the activity, the intensity, the show that gets put on every time he has a match. Levan needs to face Vitaly before he faces Devon again. Devon is right about how Levan just gets to rest and regenerate max strength with arm wrestling once every year or even longer. It's almost been a year already. If he wants to wait till December, that's a year and a half since his last match, so even longer. The amount of wear and tear Devon goes through with how active he is at the age of 50, crazy. It's unbelievable, and that's what makes Devon Larratt the people's champ at all times. Levan facing Vitaly and Devon facing Levan after that makes the most sense. Let Devon regenerate and rest. It's only fair. Devon can win. Let's go. Another person says, it's only fair that Levan should have to fight Lillettin first and then fight Devon. That's the route. It's not fair to the super heavyweight division that the number 2 guy has carried division doing all the work while the number 1 guy doesn't do because he only arm wrestles once or maybe twice a year. Give Camille a shot. He would give Devon some trouble on the left. So, yeah, I think Vitaly versus Levan, and then Devon versus Levan after would be interesting, just giving the build-up of Devon and Levan both beating Vitali and then them having the third match afterwards. So I do see how like the build-up for that would make sense. But at the same time, like in what other sport is the guy who is number 4 in the rankings who just lost to the guy who's number 2 going to get the next title shot? So, you know, kind of interesting either way, whatever ends up happening. But I wanted to share this clip of Devon talking about the match right afterwards in a live stream, hanging out with Vitali there. Let me know your thoughts and hit like and subscribe for more content, guys. Appreciate all the support recently.